This Niners defense has struggled massively for over a month now. It has played poorly in both playoff games. The Ravens annihilated them. And I think this Niners defense has all this money and draft capital invested in its defensive front. And Bosa's outstanding, but has been susceptible against a very specific thing the Chiefs do. And we'll get to that in a moment. Hargrave is a really good player. Eric Armstead has not been great. And Chase Young's been bad. And they got crushed for their lack of effort by their own coaches. And this is where I think they can be susceptible. If you watched when the Chiefs played the Niners last regular season, where they really took advantage of the Niners, most notably Nick Bosa's over-aggressiveness, was in the jet sweep game. That Bosa is going to crash down trying to rush the quarterback, and McCole Hardman had the best game he had all year in little pop passes to him, jet sweeps, getting around the edge. Hardman is going to, the fumbles be damned, he is going to be involved in this game plan, and if he's on the active roster, game day roster, Kadarius Toney might be as well. You're going to cross your fingers and hold your breath, but that is where the Niners can be taken advantage of because they are going to be so aggressive in trying to get to the quarterback. And if they stay honest and don't play it that way, then Mahomes will pick that secondary apart. I think this has the potential.
I have a question.
And yeah, go ahead, please.
As a Chiefs fan that really wants them to win the Super Bowl, how do you feel about Kadarius Toney being listed back on the active roster? You were saying they were going to utilize him. Are you talking about for that jet sweep as well? Because I know they do a little bit of that with him.
For the jet sweep and for those types of things. I don't think Kadarius is going to be active on Super Bowl Sunday. If he is, though, they will use him. And so I don't think you need McCole and Kadarius. The question is, who do you trust more? So McCole was a good player for the Chiefs for a few years, not great but good, was injured in last year's Super Bowl. Kadarius played in last year's Super Bowl, caught, a blown coverage touchdown, and also had the longest punt return in NFL Super Bowl history. But then this year has been a disaster. On and off the field, a disaster. Hardman started the year with the Jet. When I say off the field, I mean the Instagram Live and just some of his nonsense. He's been a disaster. Oh, yeah, he went on Instagram. Now, he claimed, like, that it's been misinterpreted or the media has it wrong, but he appeared to go on Instagram Live and say the Chiefs are lying about me being hurt. I'm not hurt. I should be on I should be playing. If they were lying about him being hurt, it was out of kindness because the other option is, buddy, you're just not playing because you've been terrible. Hardman, on the other hand, has been a great citizen and has had some great moments as a Chief. But he has 2 touches in the Bills game and fumbled them both. Well, he fumbled both times he touched the ball. Once reaching for the goal line, the other time they recovered it. So that's a tricky spot, but you can take advantage of the Niners on those putting receivers in motion jet sweep action. Now, if you remember, there's only been one game this postseason that I predicted the Chiefs' offensive explosion. The Bills game, and they did it. I know they only scored 27, but in addition to scoring the 27, they fumbled at the 1. They had 8 plays of 20-plus yards, and they were moving the ball somewhat at will in that game. I believe that DeMonte's getting his mic fixed, and we're picking that up, or at least I'm picking that up. DeMonte, I'm hearing DeMonte, but the audience isn't. That's fine. All right, just tell me when we have DeMonte back, guys. The The Niners defense, I believe, is the most susceptible of the defenses the Chiefs have played, given the conditions of the game. So the Dolphins defense is the worst defense the Chiefs played, but that game was in negative 27 degrees, and both teams were going to be somewhat limited offensively. The Bills defense, I understand that everyone made the fact that they were missing 2 linebackers due to injury the biggest story in the world, but that Bills defense was a top 5 scoring defense throughout the season without Trey White, without Matt Milano. I understand they had 2 more injuries going into that Chiefs game, but that Bills defense was still legitimate defense. It was outdoors on the road, and the Chiefs lit them up. And then the Ravens defense is a great defense, and I did not think Kansas City was going to have a ton of offensive success. I just trusted the Chiefs' defense in that game, and that ended up proving out to be correct. I believe this is the game most likely of this entire playoff run to lead to a monster Patrick Mahomes game. Now, he's played clean football. He has played smart football. He has not yet had a monster game. He also has never had a monster start to finish Super Bowl. And one of the underrated, just keep it in the back of your mind facts about this game is Patrick Mahomes in a dome. So Mahomes in his career has played 10 games in a dome. He is 10-0. He is averaging 314 yards per game passing, 25 yards per game rushing, so 340 yards per game. He has 23 touchdowns. He has 2 picks. He has a 105 rating. Mahomes in perfect conditions has been essentially impossible to deal with his entire career. So you have a Niners secondary that is susceptible. A Niners corner in Charvarius Ward, their best corner, their all-pro, second-team all-pro corner, that is a former Chief, and the Chiefs know better than any team in the league what his weaknesses are.
He's also 4-0 in that new stadium in Vegas.
Mahomes, yeah, 4-0 in Allegiant Field. And you also have Travis Kelce with an extra week of rest, which for an old player who has, when he's looked healthy this year, he has looked like vintage Travis Kelce. And when he hasn't looked healthy, he has looked like the end is nigh. And so you have all of those things. Rashee Rice got banged up in the second round game and wasn't as explosive in the conference championship game. He has an extra week. You also have one of my favorite gadget guys of this entire Mahomes era, Jerick McKinnon, who has come off IR and might be eligible. And if the touches that were going to Clyde Edwards-Helaire now go to Jerick McKinnon, that is so massively positive for the Chiefs. And I haven't even mentioned Isiah Pacheco, who we saw this Niners defense get run on by Aaron Jones, get run on by the Lions. So I think the Chiefs offense will have...
What about Bucker?
We'll get to the kickers in a minute because that's an important part of the game. I think the Chiefs offense is going to have its best game in months. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.